I've drawn these 3 different images of me, but I still need to choose one to use as a profile picture because I've started a new account on every social media platform and need an image that works for the figuratively hundreds of different sizes. Stakes not high enough? I also decided to use a style that I usually reserve for anthropomorphizing foodstuffs. So how did I do it? Hood, doodles, hoodoodles. Make sure to watch through to the end and help me choose which final portrait I should actually use. Your vote might decide what face I show the internet. Alright, let's speedrun these sketches. Starting simple, square head with a bit of a wobbly bottom for my beard, happy little face and a swoop of simplified hair. Pro tip, closed eyes are easier to draw. Moving on to the next one, I'm going to try long and skinny because that's the shape of my head. Twirly villain moustache is a happy accident. Then, trying for a bit of a contrast, a nice round one. This time I've accidentally drawn Santa. Very different vibes. This guy's got a thumb for a head, but he seems pretty happy about it. I do love drawing sparkly eyes, but with no beard, this isn't very me. My kids are currently obsessed with K-pop demon hunters, and I love the derpy tiger so much I was inspired to draw this crazy little chappie. It's a bit wide for my head, so let's try a squished version too. That is deeply horrifying. Going for a slightly more sedate middle-aged look means this guy's a bit tired of everything, which is pretty on brand, but this is for social media, where we lie about how well we're doing, so let's go for the total opposite. This guy's basically a kid, so I think I've probably overcorrected. Spoiler, none of these survive, but I've got to choose one. More of a hot dog for a body on this one. Not very me, I'll stick with the general shape, but add a few more distinguishing features. This is the point in the thumbnailing process where I've used all the obvious ideas, so things can begin to get a bit weird. Oh yes, there it is. Stick around, the designs only get weirder from here. This guy's got a really intense big mouth, but I'm liking the general head shape. Again, it's a little bit wide for my head, so let's try a bit of a squished in version. Speaking of squished in, let's move all these over and start some more. Super gigantic cutesy eyes, kinda liking the beard on that one, although it does look a bit like that one Pokemon. Breloom? Oh, this guy's fun, but luckily I'm not this old looking. Just feeling. Let's go for a skinny head again. Something about this just isn't working, although I don't know why. But that's just art for you. I really like this design, even though it looks nothing like me. More like a capybara was turned into a person and isn't coping with it. I feel you, bud. The skinny heads are about right, but this one looks crazy. I want something happy looking, so let's lean fully into that by starting with a huge smile. Definitely working, but as they always say about guys with huge mouths, huge chin. Seeing as that one had small eyes, and we like overcorrecting here, I'll try one with massive eyes on the side of the head. No space for ears, but who needs them when you have 360-degree vision? I haven't had enough of big eyes yet, but let's try actually putting them in the face on this one. I quite like this little bearded baby-looking buddy. One of these bizarre sketches will make it into the final 3. Can you guess which one? Couple more before we run out of space. And back to the thumb shape, so I was trying to integrate the beard. Is that a mouth or a nose? Turns out it was a nose. Finally, let's lead with the mouth again. I've definitely given myself a hard job with that intense grimace. Not much happiness coming from him. Let's at least give him a fun reason for looking like that. Happy little brain worm. Oh dear. Well, that is embarrassing. I doodled these all out over the space of roughly 2 hours, legitimately the entire way through Howl's Moving Castle, and it wasn't until later that night that I realized I wear glasses. None of these drawings have glasses. And how the doodly does this wear glasses? Oh, like that. So after adding glasses to all of them, and realizing most of them don't work with this very late edition, let's take the chosen few and make them even gooder. Will your favorite make it to the final 3? These are the ones I either like the most or have elements that I will try and combine. In many cases, your first idea can be very good, but sometimes a little refinement really makes them shine. There's not really any significant changes happening with most of them. I'm changing elements that I don't think I quite nailed the first time round, and of course allowing space where possible for the addition of glasses. This mostly involves changing proportion sizes and adding ears, something I find really helps hold my glasses in place. For a select few, I took another crack to see if I could improve further, in particular introducing the happy headworm to a few different designs. Sometimes it works, and sometimes you make an overcomplicated, cluttered mess. These are the 3 finalists. I can't decide from the sketch which one of these will look the best when finished, so I'm going to go through the whole process with each of them, starting by putting them onto a canvas of the right size. The inking process is much the same as always, going fast to try and keep the lines jitter-free and adding line weight where it feels right. And once I've decided on a colour palette, it was pretty quick work to drop them in place. The only issue is that the style I use for these drawings doesn't have dividing lines around the hairline or beard, so I had to figure it out in the colours, starting with soft and fuzzy divisions and then harder ones, some straight, some bobbly to mimic hair. It's also important to remember, most of the time this is going to be a super tiny little image on people's super tiny little screens, so less detail is good. I found it super useful to rough in some background colours so I could see how my choices contrast. I added one extra layer to this image that I don't with many of my drawings: shading. I normally avoid shadows like an elderly leather-skinned sunbather, but it felt necessary here to add some dimension. I kept it pretty basic still. One layer, one pale purpley grey colour, and set it to multiply. I really enjoy stretching myself with this process. I don't draw a lot of even passably human people, as you might be able to tell, so trying to draw something that Jean-Claude straddles the line between a good likeness and a fun style has been an interesting challenge. And with that, they're all done, except for the question of which one to actually choose to use. Which one is your favourite? Let me know in the comments, and if there's a consensus, I will change over. Right now, I might rotate between them. Which one am I using when you watched? Hope you enjoyed that. If you want to see how I made another piece of channel art, my banner, in just the worst way possible, click to watch this video.